What's up, everybody? This is Rob Wilds.
And this is Chris Casanova.
And hey, if you're enjoying WrestleShoot, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button.
What are you waiting for?
Yeah, man. You don't got to smash it. Just press it.
We can't do this without you.
That's right. So please join the WrestleShoot family by clicking that like and subscribe. WrestleShoot Radio coming at you. Hosted by Rob Wilds and Chris Casanova. Between the two of us, we've got 40 freaking years of experience in this business, and we're coming to shove it right in your ear holes. You can listen to our witty banter, our mindless arguing, and our legitimate viewpoints. We're going to have some buddies of ours stop through here and give their mindless viewpoints as well. So stick with us. Let's go for a ride. We know how to do it, and we do it real well. All right. Welcome to another episode of WrestleShoot Radio. We know how to do it, and we do it real well. I'm the wild thing, Rob Wilds, joined by my hetero life mate, Chris Casanova. What's up, buddy?
Wow, you said that with conviction.
Yeah, I meant it, man. You are my hetero life mate.
Well, we made it to number 3. I'm going to keep saying that every show. I'm going to say number 3, number 4, number 5. I'm just going to keep saying it because I think
you're going to say, hey, welcome to, we made it to number 98. You're going to say that, and I'm going to be like, hell yeah, we did.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I'm just going to keep going, man. I'm never going to lose that line. But,
I got to say, going back to WrestleShoot 1, you are very Michael K. Porter in that sense. Every time me and Mike did a new WrestleShoot, he was so proud of it. And I love that you bring that energy to the team.
Well, you know what? I'm just lucky enough to be on the show and, even just be close to Mike, just... So yeah, I'm excited, and
Chris,
I think that's my motivation.
I love the humility, the humble nature that you show on this. But it's not that you were lucky enough to be my number, my co-host on this show, dude. It's that
this is the hedgerow thing coming out, or hedgerow life mate. Okay, go on.
You son of a bitch! It's that you have the talent, dude. That's the very reason that the apocalypse worked so well. You and I know how to work off each other without even putting any effort into it. That's why we did well in the apocalypse. That's why WrestleShoot is so far, although we're trying to figure out all the technicalities, because, before, when I did WrestleShoot with Mike worked the soundboard, and he knew all the ins and outs and all the good stuff of doing the show, and I'm trying to learn that now, but still, you and me, dude, we're the left and right ball, dude. We have the balls to make this work. I've gotten great reviews from wrestling fans, and I appreciate your humility, but you are on this program in the position you're in for a reason, and it's not because you were the luckiest, because you got balls, brother. We're the balls. We're the Rat Pack of wrestling.
You got the balls, brother. A quote from late Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
Okay, I got an idea. If you got the balls, brother. Jimmy, I saw you do that spot 2 weeks ago. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's like it was a new thing. Give me a break, Jimmy. Come on, who are you trying to work?
But you know what? It's just like when you got to work Honky a few times, and he's like, "Oh, we're gonna do A, B, and C. Then the test of strength. That'll get over." Shut the hell up, Honky. You just did that last week with so and so.
Yeah. I guess to get to the point in his life, in his career, like that's what people pay, to bring Honky Tonk line in. And he's like, you know what? I'm just going to make life easier on myself. He's an older guy now. He doesn't want to take too many bumps and everything. He's like, let's just do a nice scripted match. And it works. People think it's cute and it's nice and it's a great story and people like it. I mean, it's entertaining. But yeah, it's very repetitious. I mean, yeah.
I will disagree with you a little bit on the point that I'll give Honky Tonk the credit of keeping vigorous notes. Like he'll say, okay, I know that 2 months ago I just wrestled Chris Casanova in Yuba City, California, And now I'm being booked against Chris again in Sacramento. So he will change it up. But there's lots of dudes out there on the scene who are like, I'm going to do the same 12 moves that we're going to make work for 15 minutes. I'm going to get my money. I'm going to sell my gimmick, and I'm going to go home. But Honky is I like to keep him guessing, brother. I like to keep him jumping. And the more I keep them jumping, the more T-shirts they're going to buy. Why aren't you selling T-shirts, Chris Casanova? What the hell?
And he said, and those are the exact words he used with me at our show. Yeah, and he made me laugh. And but I will throw another positive at him as well, is that he would always think about the show. He would say, you know what, we're just the talent for the day. When we leave, it's up to you guys to carry the story on.
Right.
So he was all about making me look good, or whoever he's working with, making that talent look good, because he's just there for the night. I mean, so I respect that. There's been some names out there, and that don't really work that way.
That's right.
And it's all about them, and it's just
I'm gonna throw out another name on one of the shows, because we booked Honky Tonk a lot, because that guy knows damn well how good he is for business. But one show we booked Marty Jannetty with him, and we did cards that night for the marks, or the fans. I shouldn't say the marks, that's insulting. For the fans to fill out. And one of the questions was, who did you come to see? I'm pleased to say that several people put Rob Wilds and Chris Casanova on there. But the majority of the people put, we came to see Marty Jannetty when he came back from his 5-year hiatus. But what he said to me that night stuck forever. He said, brother, you and me and Chris, you and me and Chris and Honky, we are just dancing bears in the circus. We go out there, we perform our dance, everybody screams, and we go home safely. But we got to remember at all times, you got to be open to changing up your dance steps, because we're the dancing bears. And I say that because I remember it was Ridiculous Mike Rain we booked against Honky, a member of the Apocalypse. Against Marty, right. And that night you wrestled Honky, but Mike wrestled Marty. And we all, as the Apocalypse, it was you, it was me, it was Mike, and it was Rick Michaels, our manager, and we all went to the ring. And Marty, he grabbed the microphone, and he said his standard thing, I'm rocking and rolling, stutting and strolling from Austin to Boston, from Spain to Maine, and all that awesomeness that Marty likes to flow out. But he made changes. He recognized there was a click around the ring. And do you remember when he grabbed the top rope and looked down and said, "Motherfucker, I should do a plancha on you."
Yeah.
And I said, "Do it," because my mark side came out. Yes, Marty Jannetty, do a plancha on me, and he did it. Boom, 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 boom. He laid the heat. You ran one way, Rick Michaels ran the other. I took the beating as the heel. And he jumped back in there, got his heat as Mike Rain took the powder. And then, guys, the old guys, they really get it. And I want to make a quick announcement, by the way.
Okay.
The Conquistadors belongs to you and I, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, all around the country, all around the United States, and hopefully overseas, keep your eyes open, man, for the Conquistadors appearing on the card. And what means the most to me, and what you and I completely agree on with the concept of the Conquistadors, is, the old guys, when we were new, they used to come in, and they used to put us over. They made us look good.
Oh, yeah.
And the problem with a lot of these jerks out there on the indie scenes is they don't remember that, because they were coming in at the end of that era when the old guys came in to make the young guys look good, because they're our future. And they did that for us. Snuka, Honky, Marty, just Raven, the Pondo, all the dudes who would make us look good because we were the future. We get to now pay that forward. And we're not gonna wrestle every tag team out there. But the guys that we do work with, we're going to teach them really important lesson with absolutely no hardships behind it. Just
Yeah,
someday you are going to be the old guys. And remember today, remember us coming in, because the Conquistadors, we're not looking to go out there and tour around and go over. We're looking to go out there and do the job and make these young guys shine, make them in their territory somebody that matters. And they will pay that forward. Even when they're not trying to put the young guys over, they're going to put that forward.
absolutely, absolutely.
They're going to put that forward with every match that they have. Whether they win or
Hmm.
lose, they're going to make the other team shine because
Yeah,
that's how we're supposed to do it.
absolutely. I completely agree with that. Well, I wanted to throw. I know we usually wait later on in the show to talk about this, but
Sure.
I want to give you the option, Rob, of who is asshole of the week.
Asshole of the week.
Yes, we're going to do it now. I don't want to wait till later.
All
So
right.
I'm going to ask you. I think you mentioned something about it, but I want you to talk about it a little bit. Now I'm going to jump in.
Dude. It is dancing on the tip of my tongue. This year's asshole of the week is the jerk off Northern California independent wrestler known by Rick Luxury. Real
Oh,
name Rick O'Shea. Gimmick Rick Luxury. Rick, listen to my words. This is Rob. This is not Rob Wilds talking to Rick Luxury. This is Rob throwing at Rick. You, sir, are without a doubt, in my opinion, the asshole of the decade. But you, sir, are the asshole of the week. So you probably want to know why, I'm guessing.
absolutely. Well, I know the reason why, but I love hearing you talk about it.
I love that you goaded me into calling out Rick Luxury as the asshole that he is. But here it is. Those of you who listened to all 3 episodes so far of WrestleShoot know the last week we had our old buddy Leatherface on. And man, last week was awesome. I had a great time, and I know you did. I know he did. Whew.
Yeah, it was a great show.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. It was fun catching up with an old brother that we haven't seen in a long time. And hopefully soon enough we can all get together and we can just be brothers like we always were. Anyway, he found on Facebook some Sacramento indie guy who is trying to make money through Facebook. Because, indie wrestling has pretty much shut down with COVID. I mean, it's been bad for everybody involved.
Sure, absolutely.
So this guy is trying to do a new gimmick that he didn't come up with. Somebody came up with, and he's got a piece of it. He's got a part in it. Just pay the money and blah 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 blah. And he cut this really poor promo, as lots of young guys do. It's not like you walk into the business knowing how to cut an excellent promo. Besides Chris Casanova and the wild thing Rob Wilds.
Huh.
So, old Leatherface, Ramses Nightingale, as his name is on Facebook. Hit him up. Cool guy to be in touch with. Anyway, he said, "Oh, look, Rob Wilds," in his tag. This guy's trying to cut a promo. So I watched it. And I wasn't impressed, but I didn't have anything negative to say about it. We let it go. And all of a sudden, up pops Sacramento independent, never went anywhere, never will go anywhere. Rick O'Shea, quote, luxury in his profile, who is just for anybody listening, before you even look this guy up, just know what a douchebag he is. And we're going to totally get into this.
Yeah.
But my response to him after reading his, "Oh, you bring up Rob Wild, that guy needs to crawl back into the hole that he disappeared into, blah, blah, blah." Him and his little bitch crew decided at me and Chris's goodbye match in California, because we were moving off to Texas. We were going to get into a new life. Now, of course, we are professional wrestlers. So in Texas, we couldn't help but change our gimmick up a little bit, call ourselves the Border Patrol, and start wrestling out there as heels in Texas. But before we left with these you remember when one of those douchebags, when you and I went to the ring to do our goodbye match, chucked a water bottle at you?
Yeah, they threw a water bottle.
Yeah, and then what'd you do?
And I picked that fucking thing right up, and I just drilled it as hard as I could at that vicinity where they're sitting at, and all I could see, I don't know if it hit them or hit the wall or whatever.
It hit the wall. I'll say that.
It exploded.
Yeah.
It exploded, like it was like just boom, like, because I was so pissed off, and I know they all just got up in arms, like, oh, we're gonna do something. As soon as that happened, and you want to finish what happened on that, because I think you tell a little bit better than I do.
They all jumped up on their feet, and there was simply Mr. Casanova and myself standing in a ring, staring at them. After you threw that bottle at them with maximum velocity, there was no pulling back. There was no, these are the boys. There was, fuck you guys. You chucked that bottle. It hit the wall and exploded. They all jumped up, and you and I, who were supposed to be, opponents, threw kayfabe out the window and stood side to side and said, well, come on then. You guys all decided to grow collectively one ball sack. Here it is. And there was 10, 15 of them. Come on and get some. And not one
D-Unit and
D-Unit, Trent, and those faggots. Come on and get it. And we were there. This was not scripted. This was us in front of a full house saying, come on and whoop our asses in front of everybody. And you guys decide who the hell goes to the hospital first out of your crew. The only one who had the balls to make a run at us was not Rick, the asshole of the week luxury. It was some little douchebag ref called Guido that they convinced to make a run at us because they had his back, and not one of them did.
No.
So I'm looking over the top rope at Guido down on the floor, red in the face, absolutely furious. I mean, just out of his mind angry. And I glanced down at him and said, first of all, we ain't never done nothing to you. Second of all, turn around. You are alone.
Yep.
He
turned
him
to the fucking wolves.
He totally. He turned around and saw that he was alone. All of a sudden, that big, tough tail that was risen up in the air, ready for battle, tucked between his legs. And he didn't just go back to sit with his crew, who was sitting right there by the ring. I mean, they weren't 8 feet away. Come get us. There's like 15 of you against 2 of us. Come get us. Well, not one of them moved. He moved, and he didn't just go back and sit with his crew. He tuck-tailed all the way back to the locker room.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the best goddamn thing he could have done. Do you want to say what happens next, or do you want me to?
So I remember. So we get in the back, and I think.
No, rewind back to who tried to sneak into the ring on us.
Oh, yes, yeah, okay, yes, okay. So I remember that. So as this is going down, like I see this image, like it's a kind of big image, actually.
Yeah, big fat fuck.
Yeah,
image.
Yeah, like my peripheral, my right side, and I kind of look over, and I'm like, it's Joe Applebomber. He's like, he's trying to sneak up. I'm like, who the fuck are you trying to sneak up on?
Real quick, Chris, hit pause. To those of you who don't know who Joe Applebomber is, Google Pogo the Clown. Google him, and then you get at least a fatness idea of who Joe Applebomber is. That being said, Chris, please continue.
No, yeah, well, that's great on the reference on that, because you definitely should look that fat piece of shit up. But yeah, he sneaks up. I'm like, who the fuck are you trying to sneak up on? And he literally just like kind of, he's like, how far are we going with this?
And
like that.
I flipped out. I said, how far are we going with this, you fat
Yep.
fuck? We ain't going nowhere with this. Walk away before something bad happens to you. And what did he do?
I never seen a fat guy walk away so quick. I mean, he walked away like he was fucking running, trying to get in line at a buffet at fucking Golden Corral. But I mean, I seriously was like, wow, that's quick.
Yeah, he
But
got the hell right out of Dodge. So then we went ahead and we did our match. And we weren't looking that night, by the way, for whoever douchebag cunt bags in Sacramento are listening to this. We didn't go out there with the intention of working really hard. Because, like, we were done. We were getting on the road to Texas. We were done with independent California. Not even California, really. West Coast. Because we didn't just work like in California. We worked everywhere. So we were done with the West Coast wrestling scene. So we were going to go out there and have fun and work a match that we thought was fun. And we incorporated some elements of a match that we thought was fun of Hogan versus Warrior.
Mm-hmm.
But we also had one other goal. We wanted to put Mark Vega, our top student, we wanted to put him over by coming in at the end. Of course, we whooped his ass, because he wasn't going to do nothing to us. We were the guys going out. But he got some heel heat. We had Mike Rain come out, do this big announcement thanking us for, all the money that we spent on making California pro wrestling better. And how much heart we put into booking every show, working every match, doing all the stuff that goes into. And it was our legitimate opinion, all the stuff that goes into giving the fans their absolute money's worth. Right?
Sure.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
But we were already so pissed off after the whole water bottle incident, and we neglected to mention that when you were walking to the ring, one of those faggots tried to trip you going to the ring. So we were pretty much done, and when we left the ring, all those 15 douchebags were still sitting there, right there on the aisle, back to the back. And I think we didn't do like 1, 2, 3 spit, but at the same time, we both walked to the back and spit at them in striking distance. And not one of them, especially asshole of the week who thinks he was the toughest shooter of his crew, not one of them did a goddamn thing. Now, before we get to the next part of this story, because we're getting kind of late here, we should move on. But I was not in sobriety yet. So, Mr. Casanova, take it. What happened next?
So, we basically left, and we went to the bar across the street.
This little Irish pub that, by the way, had great ambiance in Modesto. It was in back of a club called Fat Cats where we did the show. I wish I could remember the name, but if anybody in Modesto is listening and knows where I'm talking about, support them. The bartenders were great. The crowd was awesome. We had a great time for the hour and a half we were over there drinking hard.
Yeah. And so, we wanted to clear our heads and, let's just have a couple drinks. And I think we sat down. We were with Rick Michaels at the time and his wife, Emily. And I think that was it. It was just us four. And we decided to start drinking whiskey. And we weren't drinking whiskey, like, sipping slowly like a little highball glass. Like, we were having shots. And we're talking about after another, double, triple, quadruple.
And it was funny because after the show, a lot of the fans left the nightclub we just wrestled in and went over to that bar. And they were all like, hey, you guys were great. We want to buy you a shot. And to quote Julio Iglesias, well, we didn't want to be rude. So we're like, yeah, we'll take your shots. All right, let's party.
Yeah, exactly. So we drank. We have quite a few drinks, and I don't remember how many shots we had, but we had enough. And
we had way more than enough.
We should have, And we decided we really don't want to go home right away. So
Now
we,
let's be honest here real quick and take a little bit of the heat off of you. The bad influence right then was absolutely me.
oh, you?
Yeah, I was absolutely the bad influence in this next part.
Okay. Okay. So, we'll go to the bad influence. Talk me into going out there.
I said,
And
Chris, we are not the guys who are going to let anybody roll over on us. We need to go over there and tell them exactly where they can stick it.
yeah.
And that was a very cleaned up version of pretty much how I hyped you up.
So we went back over there,
Yes,
and
we did.
we weren't looking to talk and chat and try to work it out or negotiate anything. We weren't. We were going there to fight, basically.
In our defense, we knew the show was over.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah,
we did.
knew we were watching the time. We knew the show was over. So we're going over there to fight with the fans not suffering any consequences based on our drunken decisions.
And so we show up, and they're all out there. I mean, all of them out in the back.
When we we say out in the back, there was a gated in outback area behind the club where
kind of like a smoking area or drinking area. Like you can go out there and have a drink if you wanted to. Like it was kind of like an outdoor like area,
right?
Fenced in.
With one single bouncer was there.
Well, yeah, I think you should. I think you were the more verbal one going, and I had some verbal. I said a couple things, but I think you need to continue the story because we showed up.
Okay.
And
well, to start it off, this had a locked back gate, so nobody could come in the back gate, right, and get into the club.
Right.
And the bouncer was there, so we showed up, and we were obviously intoxicated. We were obviously hostile, and I said, "Hey, my man, how you doing?" And he said, "Hey, Wild Thing, what's up?" "Oh, we just wanted to come in and say hi to a couple of the boys before we got up out of here." "Oh, no problem." And he opened the gate, and he let both of us in. And that's where everything immediately went sideways.
Yeah.
We walked
real quick.
We walked in the back gate, and I said out loud something along the lines of, "Y'all are a bunch of untrained, unprofessional jerk-offs who think you're a bunch of superstars, but the fact of the matter is, we're leaving, and we're going to look back on you one day and find all you idiots still jockeying for position on the indie scene, never having made it, because not one of you, except for Brian Cage and Reno Scum, are going to go anywhere in this business. Y'all are a bunch of punk bitches." When I said punk bitches, Rick, the asshole of the week luxury, said, "Hey, Rob, you want to step outside?" And it wasn't a hair later before I'm throwing that back gate open and walking up the back gate.
And you did, and hold on, but you didn't even say anything. Like it was like, "Oh yeah," most people say, "Oh yeah, okay, let's do this right now." No, there was like no verb. You didn't say nothing. Like it was just like flash. Like holy shit, outside.
But in my head, I'm kind of laughing a little bit, saying, "You stupid bastard! We're already outside."
Right. Yeah, we're actually already out here, but yeah, that's.
So I walked out the back gate. You were right on my heels, and we have fists up, and we are ready to see what's what in the business. And all of them, all 15 of them, jumped up and made like they wanted to run to the back gate to come outside, all 15 of them, and collectively whoop our asses, which, let's be honest, there was 2 of us. Nope, you know what? There was 2.5 of us, because Rick Michaels was there to fight. Maybe because his wife, shamed him into it. But there was 2.5 of us outside, and they had One bouncer who managed to hold 15 supposedly angry, ready to fight professional wrestlers back.
Yeah, and didn't the bouncer say something? He said something like, I could, I don't know, he said something kind of, not saying in our defense, but like they were talking, we're going to come outside and blah, blah.
He said, why don't you guys go out the front door and come around back the alley to the gate, and then I can't stop you.
That's right. Okay,
And
yeah.
not one of them wanted to go out that front door. They all wanted to flex and throw their shoulders back and, oh, we're going to kick your asses. And you know, if we're being honestly, we would have got our asses beat on a wholesale level.
Well,
now, a couple of them would have gone to the hospital with us, granted. But we would have lost, 7 days a week and twice on Sundays against 15 pro wrestlers.
Well, yeah, and it's funny because I know one of them was trying at the front gate. The first one was trying to get out there was DJ Riz. Now I know he's no longer with us, but you know what?
Fuck him.
He was a little piece of shit, dude. I'm sorry. He had a fucking terrible attitude. He's a little prick. He wasn't very good in the ring.
Everybody, let me cut in here real quick, everybody. DJ Riz weighed about 170 pounds. He was skin and bones, and the only reason
170, really? I thought maybe 140, maybe 150, but okay. You're giving him too much credit, but
okay. Michael Porter billed him at 170.
Oh, okay, yeah, he's definitely not 170.
That's all I know was his gimmick.
Yeah, exactly.
But
go ahead, continue.
He was a little meth head looking toothless fucking nobody. Now, Rick Luxury, you got a horrible grill, bro, and your breath always smelled like you were eating a cat box full of shit. But Riz, dude, he literally had meth mouth. Anyway, one of them, I'm not going to say his name because I have like an iota of respect for him, was trying to defuse the situation. You know, the little Japanese kid who worked a cross-dresser gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
So there came to the point where, the one bouncer managed to hold all these guys back. An asshole of the week, Rick Luxury, decided to take a running start and climb up some tables, up to the top of the fence, and stand there like he was Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse running his mouth. And I looked at him and I laughed and I said, Rick, you are the biggest punk out of anybody back here. Now, real quick, as all this shit was breaking off, there were gentlemen like Big Ugly, J.D. Bischoff, the Reno Scum, who saw it going down and said, you know what? We don't want to get into this. And they got up and went inside. Douchebags like Luxury tried to call them back out because he needed his numbers to fight two men. Two men.
Yeah, sure.
Two and a half. Because
2.5.
I'll tell you this. Rick Michaels, our manager, came to our wrestling camp as a 0 level on the manometer, but he left at like a 5 to 7. We taught that guy to be a shooter. We showed him where his balls were. He came out to be the man. Anyway, Rick Luxury is standing right there at the top. Now, this fence wasn't like a 10, 12-foot fence. It was like 6, 7 feet.
Yeah.
And I said, I'll tell you what, Rick. And I took a good 3 strides backwards. I wanted him to know, come over that fence, hit the ground, get your balance, stand up, and be ready. Because you and I are going to fight. The rest of these dudes who are playing the game that they can't get out, whatever. Chris Casanova is absolutely not going to get involved in this. This particular tussle is going to be you and I. And Rick,
that's you and him.
Rick, you were such a coward. You were such a coward in front of all your boys. All you did was stand there and run your mouth. And I laughed and I pointed like the Simpsons. Ha ha! I said, you, sir, are a fucking coward. The only thing that's stopping you from coming over that fence is about 1.5 feet of steel and a whole bunch of common sense. Come on out. Now, Bobby Steele from the tag team Full Metal Jacket. He was
Yeah.
one of the promoters on that show. He came out. He came out. He came right out the back door. Not one of those 15 tough guys who wanted to fight followed him out. Not one.
Not one. No. They're talking a lot like they wanted to, but no.
Do you want to know why? Because professional wrestlers nowadays, for the most part, and I am certainly not speaking for all you brothers out there, all you brothers and sisters who put the time and the work and learned the craft and learned to shoot, are not cowards. But most part, they're a bunch of entertainers who don't know how to actually fight. Rick Luxury, you coward, you pussy-ass punk. You did not have the testicular fortitude to come at me. Now, I hate that we're 35 minutes into this podcast and still talking about you're a bitch ass. But check it out, brother. Right now, this is the most fame you will ever have. You will never travel outside of Sacramento or the surrounding areas. You will never be anybody. You, sir, are a fucking joke. And
So, and asshole of the week.
Asshole of the week. And I said it I said it when I left. I said it to your face before we left for Texas. You will never be anybody in this business. You will never travel outside of this small territory, jockeying for position. And look at this, Rick. 15 years later, you are still nobody. And guess what?
Yeah.
The promises that Chris and I made about we're going to own properties, we're going to have a couple of bars, we're going to move on to something real past the wrestling business, we have accomplished. But you, sir, you are exactly where I said you would be. 15 years later, I wouldn't be surprised if you're still mooching off your father, if he's still alive, or you found some woman to mooch off. But you, sir, in closing, Ricochet, a.k.a. Rick Luxury, you're a douche. But Chris, real quick, God, we're getting late on this, and I hate.
I think he doesn't deserve the time anymore. He doesn't. He's asshole of the week. He really is.
You don't want to laugh about the Schizo incident because Schizo, compared to Rick Luxury, is 10 times a man. But if you want to let it go, or we'll come back to it next week.
Yeah, I think we should come back to it next week. I think that's
holy shit, Rick! Look at you. You are getting it too, for my friend. Not even my friend, dude. You're a fucking cunt. I just want to say it. You're a cunt.
And and he is. And I tell you why I want to get to next week, because we have so much more interesting stuff to talk about. But this Schizo and Rick story is definitely a great story to talk about.
Yeah, we will definitely come back to that. Ladies and gentlemen listening, thank you so much for hanging with us. I am so sorry that we spent so much time on an absolute nobody. But I, Chris, would like to move on to a somebody. Okay?
Okay.
I want to talk about Jack Gallagher from NXT.
Oh, he's great. Jack Gallagher is great.
Dude, you're absolutely right. I mean, Jack Gallagher, as far as his in-ring talent, Jack is a real worker. Jack clearly understands how to shoot. He's great. But as we all know, Jack Gallagher was fired. I think it was in June because of a sexual assault allegation. Do you remember this?
I heard something about that, and I'll be honest, I didn't really read too much. I just know that there was a girl named Becky her name was Becky that was involved.
During the Speak Out movement, when Speak Out was being taken very seriously, as, by the way, on record, speaking out should have been taken as seriously as it was. Absolutely.
Yeah. And it happened in New Year's in 2014, but definitely continue though. I want to get your opinion on this.
On New Year's Eve in 2014, Gallagher was accused by Becky, and we don't have Becky's last name, and even if we did, we wouldn't say it, but was accused of being sexually assaulted by Gallagher.
Wow.
Well, yeah. And as of a couple of days ago, Gallagher finally, he kind of broke his silence, and he put it out there online. I think probably because his no compete contract expired. So he was in a point where he could finally speak out on it without fear of litigation from the WWE. Okay?
Right.
But following the allegations that happened in June of 2020 during the Speaking Out movement, Jack Gallagher says, I was released from my contract with the WWE. And I didn't release a statement because I didn't feel it was the right thing to do at the time. Now, he's taken a little time to process what happened, and he felt the need to respond to that. And he says, in 2014 at a New Year's Eve party, I met a young woman. My behavior towards her was inappropriate. The party was 6 years ago, and I had a lot too much liquor.
Sure.
So I don't recall the actual events of what happened. He also said, I wish to make it clear that drinking is not an excuse for my behavior. I want to express my deepest regrets, and I am genuinely sorry for the upset that I caused.
Right.
He further stated, following the allegations back when it happened, I proactively contacted the head of WWE Talent Relations. Now, I'm not sure if that was Hunter back then, but he says, as I was aware, the woman who made the allegations, her and I both attended the same New Year's Eve party.
Right.
I was then informed that this would be a breach of the company's ethics policy, and I was released from my contract with the WWE.
Oh.
He further stated, this was an isolated instance. It was not reflective on my behavior or my attitude towards women. As a man, I know I can do better. With the support of my wife, I've taken the time over the last few months to understand what I can do. But this is not about me, about the women that come forward as a part of the Speaking Out movement. I will continue to support women and the movement to the best of my ability. Now, reading that, you definitely think all of the rosy and sunshine thoughts. However, you and I, knowing the business as we know, knowing the pressures that can definitely come as a part of being the business, what do you think about that?
Well, so my opinion on it is, I can definitely talk for a while on this type of subject. Is it's so weird, like that something that happened 6 years ago, all of a sudden, they come out with it now.
Right.
She comes forward, and
Jack,
and I'm not.
Jack hasn't had a TV job since this happened.
Right. Exactly. That's the thing. And so I wonder what. And I know sometimes I'm not saying that this didn't happen or whatever, but a lot of times they're looking for the right opportunity to say something. Oh, let's just kind of I'm not saying she's making it up, and I do apologize to women out there because I know this thing does happen, but I think in certain cases,
I think that we both know that she's not making this up.
That she's what?
She's not making this up.
No, I don't think she's making it up.
Right.
But just but why wait so long? Just get it out in the open right away when it happens. Like, I don't understand why you have to wait so long. I'm thinking about it, I'm doing it or not doing it, I was scared or whatever. It's like, no, if something bad happened, like, you get it taken care of. Like,
Well, she jumped on the ball right away. The question is, why did Jack wait? Like you said, 6 freaking years to reply. Now,
are you sure? Because this is falling allegation made in 2020. As part, I thought she
no,
came
the
out in 2020.
allegation. Oh, you're right. My bad.
That's,
She did come out in 20, but she said it happened in 14. You are correct, sir.
Right. So my question is, why wait 6 years? Like, why? Is there not? There must be something behind this. And I'm not saying the incident didn't happen. Again, I apologize, but why wait? If it happened, like, why don't you come out in 2014 and say it's like, this
now,
happened
Chris,
to me right away?
Let's go back to one of our absolute key things about WrestleShoot is we don't pull any punches. So don't ever be sorry. One of our main founding principles on this show is
don't pull any punches.
What?
Don't pull any punches.
All right, we'll make sure. Okay.
I love you, Chris.
But so anyhow, I don't understand it. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but why wait 6 years? There's got to be something behind it on her end. There has to be. I mean, you look at I'll kind of do a sidetrack here a little bit. That Harvey Weinstein, that producer that
Sure.
that got in trouble. He's in prison now. I'm not saying he wasn't a piece of shit because I'm sure he took plenty advantage of women getting parts. But ladies, you, all of a sudden, all the years and years and years later,
Chris,
everybody comes together.
If I can cut you off on this one real quick,
Am I getting too much?
No, hell no. But there's a huge difference between Gallagher, Harvey Weinstein, and Bill Cosby. These are people who can actually ruin every day for the rest of your life. When Gallagher was an NXT undercard, badass and a great worker, but nobody. Now, Harvey Weinstein is not really a fair comparison to make because, that's like, that's just Bill Cosby was another great example. Why are women waiting 20 years? Because they were so scared of what they were threatened with.
Yeah, but okay. Well, I'm comparing the actual, I'm not comparing Jack. Yeah, the act. Like, these women, they all come out now and they're like, oh my gosh. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but it's like they're also waiting the right time to strike. And I know what's wrong was wrong, and that shouldn't have happened.
Sure.
But I think they're trying to get more out of it than they really deserve. It's like, okay, it's a fucked up thing. Ruin them, that's fine. But don't try to get more out of it. It's just kind of like,
we're going to disagree on this because I don't think that Becky was trying to ruin Jack's life. I don't think that was her intention. I think that it was just Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby. It was so widely publicized of, if you're a victim, you owe it to future potential victims to speak out on this.
Sure.
She didn't get anything. The WWE didn't write her a check to shut up.
We don't know that.
Well, that's true. We don't know that. That's true.
That's the thing. Maybe, who knows? Well, I mean, they're just kind of talking about the incident and she came out, and that's pretty much it. They're not really explaining details on, like, okay, like, because WWF obviously doesn't want this to, they want to try to hush us as much as possible. They're kind of like, okay, well, what do we need to do? And so I'm sure she's getting some type of compensation. And I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But I think there's a reason why she came out. There has to be a reason. It's not just, the wrongdoing. 6 years later,
okay.
I mean, like, something happened to me, right? And I'm like, fuck, I'm going to say something now. I'm not going to hold it in. I've known women like personally that have gotten, like, unfortunately been in an incident like this, and they come out right away. And, like, so it's all individual, I guess, but I don't know. That's just my opinion on it. But
you know what? Your opinion is not the wrong opinion. And by the way, to anybody right now who is listening, who also listens to Smells Like Hope, I am cracking a can of Pepsi, not alcohol.
Gotcha. Love it. Love it.
There.
Good, great story though. I mean, he came out. He said a good statement, and he's trying to do the right thing, and I
Chris,
respect him for it.
Here is another area we might not be agreeing on, because when you heard that story, your immediate thought was, well, why did she come out? My immediate story was questioning the validity of what he said. For instance, if somebody came out and accused me of a serious sexual impropriety and doing actual harm to somebody, and I wrote a statement, my statement would probably read, "It wasn't me, it was Chris Casanova." You know what I mean?
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Come on, that was funny. I don't care who.
No, that was good. That was good.
So let's go. Listen, guys, if anybody has an opinion on this that they want to put out there, we would love to hear it. Send us an email at WrestleShoot1. The word WrestleShoot is one word, and then, the number 1. WrestleShoot1@gmail. I would love to hear what you think about this. I would be happy to bring it up on the air and still keep your, anonymity. But I want to move on.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
Speaking of WrestleShoot1@gmail.com, I was sent an email by somebody who says, you should check this out. And it's an article that says Chris Jericho reveals the exact moment that Tony Khan got the confidence to start AEW. Now, boys and girls, I have not reviewed this yet. I wanted to do this kind of live with Chris, with you guys, with everybody just listening in. So, let's click on this. Here we go.
Wow.
Okay. It says, during his latest Saturday Night Special podcast, AEW star Chris Jericho revealed that his match against Kenny Omega at New Japan Wrestle Kingdom 12, January of 2018, went a long way towards sowing the seeds sowing the seeds for AEW, which was established a year later. According to Jericho, Tony Khan, the president of AEW, felt confident in starting a new wrestling promotion, noticing excuse me, Jesus. Where was I? According to Jericho, Tony Khan started the president of CEO and AEW felt confident in starting a new wrestling promotion after noticing the kind of global attention that Omega generated and the business that New Japan did. Quote, that made Tony Omega go, holy Jesus Christ. That made Tony Khan go, holy smokes. I think that I could start a wrestling company of my own because of the business that'll make... Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Oh, my God. Look, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everybody. I am not going forward with reading this article. That is obviously... Man, goddamn Jericho. Chris, let me pose you a question.
Well,
When
Tony, okay,
go ahead.
First of all, Tony Khan, I mean, or the Jacksonville Jaguars, they own a football team.
Yeah.
$1 billion football team, okay?
And they have oil companies.
I mean, the Khans are the rich guys. I'm sure everybody knows who the Khans are.
Jesus Christ.
So I could start of course he could start his wrestling company. He's got money to do it.
I'll tell you this, I guarantee you that Tony Khan never said, holy smokes, Batman, I can start my own wrestling company. Man, oh my God, that makes my brain hurt. That makes me angry. God damn it, Chris, we go back far enough in this business that we remember when the boys had balls. What the hell? What is going on with that bullshit?
We're a
I'll
long
tell you
way.
what, I'm not going to read any more of that because I am not going to support Chris Jericho giving Tony Khan a podcast blowjob. We're not doing it. Not here. Not tonight.
No, no, no. I'm not gonna go on with it either. And oh gosh, wow.
Jesus Christ.
Jericho. I mean, you're one of the greatest. You're a talent. To not take anything away from you on that. You got a great band.
What
got
happened?
a great band, Fozzy. I mean, just stick to that.
Yeah,
please.
Fozzy's pretty sick. I love Fozzy's jams.
Yeah, just stick to that. But no, there's no vote of confidence you gave him. No, sorry. I'm not buying it. Holy, and he did not say holy smokes.
It's not even, Chris. It's not even. Are we buying it? It is the PG-13. Not even the PG-13. The straight up PG version of, oh my God, holy smokes! Looking at Chris Jericho versus Kenny Omega will give me the positivity to say, I can start a wrestling company. No, you know what? Fuck that. Fuck that. Do not insult our intelligence. Don't look at us. Don't piss on us and say it's raining. Piss on us and say, I'm Chris Jericho and I'm pissing on you. And the owner of AEW never once said the words, holy smokes.
Yeah, no. Holy smokes.
So, Chris, look, I want to put a pin in this. I want to stop. I do not want to give Khan and Jericho an inch of momentum on our podcast. WrestleShoot does not support BS. WrestleShoot is a shoot. We want the truth. We want honesty. We want the fans to come back and love professional wrestling because it's professional fucking wrestling. It's not the dumbed down Vince McMahon, Chris Jericho version of what we're dealing with. Guys like me and Chris have bled, man. We have broken bones. We have been out of our shoot jobs, legitimate income, because we have taken injuries to promote professional wrestling as everything that it is and everything that it should be. And this, holy smokes, oh my God, Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega are Hulk Hogan and Warrior.
Yeah.
Man,
no.
I'm getting myself so worked up here.
And I'm not taking, in AEW, like, I'm going to be honest, like, and this probably brings us to our next story. But yeah, anyhow, I call that the whole Jericho, I call bullshit. That's all bullshit.
That's a Jerichoism, and he's got this podcast, and he's got tons of members. And guys, we're going late, but we're having a great time, so we're just going to keep rolling on this, man. But
yeah,
absolutely. But I do want to put a cutthroat stop to this. Oh, Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega, which, by the way, was an epic match. It deserves every goddamn accolade that it has got. But we are not going to promote AEW based on that. I would so much rather hear that Tony Khan said, I would like to give the fans a better product.
Yeah, I agree. Well, and which brings me to my next topic, and always controversial, Jim Cornette.
Goddamn right, Jimmy Cornette.
Very controversial.
The Wendy's assassin. Go ahead, brother. What you got?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. That was a good one. So he basically came out and said that a few of the individual wrestlers. Let's see. Okay, his biggest problem with the promotion of AEW.
This is Cornette.
This is Cornette.
Okay.
This is Cornette. He refers to as untrained, outlaw, mud show talent.
Jesus.
Yeah, mud show. And an over-reliance on sillier angles and concepts, such as recent tooth and nail match between Britt Baker and Big Swole. Many old school fans would tend to agree with his criticisms and blah, blah,
Britt
blah, blah,
Baker
blah, blah.
And Big Swole was a great match.
I thought it was too.
Okay, continue.
No, so anyhow, Arn Anderson,
Oh, my hero, Arn Anderson. Go ahead, brother.
Double A
I'm really
enforcer.
into it now.
Yeah, Double A enforcer, Four Horsemen member. Sees things a little differently for this topic that Jim's talking about.
Now,
And
this
I was
is
kind of,
just to recap real quick, so I want to make sure I'm with you.
yeah,
This is Arn Anderson's opinion on the. I mean, let's be honest, the shit show that Cornette loves to throw out. So this is Arn's response to Cornette.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. He basically says, he quotes, "Well, Jimmy, like everybody else and every single person on this earth, they have a right to their opinion." So he's saying, Jim, you got your right to your opinion.
And
But he has,
let's not discount, because whatever Arn says, dude, I'm with it. But let's not discount the opinions that a god, that a wrestling legend like Cornette has to say. But Arn says, go ahead.
yeah, no, he says, "I have mixed feelings about a lot of things in this world, and that you have a right to voice them." He says, Jimmy has his way of looking at the business, and I respect a whole lot of that. Basically saying, you know what, Jimmy, I respect your opinion.
Right.
It's all good. But he also says, I also think we all have to evolve, and we have to cater to some of what's already been introduced as far as higher impact moves
Jesus
and
Christ,
bumps.
who does that sound like? How many?
I know, right?
This is not me trying to put myself over, but how many times have I said that companies in this world either evolve or die? Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Powerful, right?
Dude, you have moved me. Go ahead. I can't believe
Yeah.
I haven't read this.
It's great. And this is Double A, I'll quote.
Yeah,
And bumps and things of that nature. And just the sheer physical part of how the business has evolved. Okay. And there's more.
Yeah.
We have to accept that and it's probably going to stay, but I also do respect the fact that we have to protect the talent from themselves. Arn continues.
Right. Arn knows about that.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got to protect the story of what we're telling in the ring, and that we have to protect each other. And I do feel, which I think Jimmy does too, is we've got to dial down a little bit of the danger and some things that talent are doing.
Jesus, Chris, how many times have you said those exact words to me? Wilds, you don't need to get thrown off bleachers. Don't do the pyramid of tables. Wow. Chris Ward and Arn Anderson are on the same page.
It's crazy. And so he's basically saying, he's agreeing with Jimmy. Like, he's not being controversial to him. He's like, I agree. We have to kind of stick to some old school stuff, but we have to evolve into the newer stuff as well. We can combine those. That's what he's saying in this whole topic here. We got to combine it and make it look good. We can make it look good, old school with new school. We can do it. He's got another quote here. We got to okay. Okay, here we go. So we got to protect them from themselves and a lot of things. Jimmy, I share his thoughts about old school rules of the business, and I certainly have my way looking at the business these days. But I do think we have to be flexible in our thought process and more or less get our finger on the pulse of which is the most important. What does the audience want? And listen to our audience and listen to what they say.
God, go Arn, because he's absolutely right. Like I've said, you and I have had 100 conversations on the fact of, in the WWE, you have, 10 guys on one freaking episode that will cut promos from the locker room, from the ring, blah, blah, blah. But it all is clearly written by the same, 2 or 3 writers in the back, because they're insisting these guys memorize scripts. When in Cornette and in Arn's day, they said, here's your bullet points. Go out there, make sure you hit the bullet points, but I want to hear your promo. And nowadays they don't want to do that.
No,
and now that Arn and Jake and Tully and these absolute, I mean, you can't even call them legends. You got to call these guys mega legends. You have got the Snake, who survived so many years in WWE without winning a single title. You've got
Yeah.
Arn and Tully, who were trailblazers in tag team, and the Horsemen,
Yeah.
and the
Mm-hmm.
Brainbusters. You gotta listen to these guys, and now Khan has brought them over, and you know that like Tony Khan didn't call Jake the Snake and be like, "Hey, I want to bring you over. What's the cheapest I can get you?" No, Jake would have told him to go take a jump. He
Yeah.
got Jake at what Jake feels Jake is worth. He got the Brainbusters at what they feel they are worth. And
Well, Tony Khan's like a business guy, right? He's going to do his research. Like
yes,
the Khan's going to do the research. Like, okay, we're trying to do this product. What are experts we can bring over besides the Holy Smokes thing? We're not going to get in that story again, but what you call it? He's calculating. He's brought these people over, and these are all in my opinion, these are pioneers of the business.
Tony Khan
Arn,
is
Jake.
saying what in my company is going to turn profit and be able to stand up against Impact, the WWE, Ring
Yes.
of Honor. What is going to stand up against these guys? And by the way, if you don't mind, real quick, I got to change gears because I was called out. I got an email based on our last WrestleShoot.
Oh yeah.
And he said, "Hey man, get your facts right before you put it out there on the air." Ken Shamrock, I said, was being inducted into the AEW Hall of Fame, and The Rock was going to send an endorsement.
Yes. Yes.
Everybody, I apologize. I hate getting the wrong information and putting it out there, but it is not AEW. It is, in fact, Impact. Kenny, our boy from California, absolutely deserves to be put into the Impact Hall of Fame. It moves my heart that Rocky is going to send an endorsement over to him. But, ladies and gentlemen, it was not AEW. It is, in fact, Impact. That being said, back to Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Back to Arn Anderson.
But I mean, this is powerful though, and listeners, we want your opinion on this. Do you agree with Arn? Do you agree with Jim Cornette? Send us an email. WrestleShoot1, right?
Absolutely, WrestleShoot1@gmail. But let's real quick just do a real basic recap of Jimmy is pretty much saying that AEW is missing their step by trying to go back so far old school and missing the garbage that the WWE is pulling out. And Arn is saying we have to adapt to survive, and we are trying to bring you the best of both worlds. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, Jimmy, he's saying they should go back to old. Jimmy's saying they should go back to old school completely. And that's what Jimmy's saying. And Arn's kind of like, well, yeah, and I agree with him, but he's saying,
and Chris, dude, that's like the conversations that you and I have all the time is where, I come from Paul DeMarco. That's who trained me. And my brain is having such a hard time breaking out of the mentality of old school. But you come from Mike Modest. You come from, we have to evolve. So we have the same conversation that like Arn and Jimmy are having. We have it all the time.
Sure. Oh, sure. Absolutely. And don't get me wrong, I love old school, and it definitely has its place. I love the old school wrestling. I do. I grew up with it. But I think you do have to evolve, and you have to kind of keep that old school mentality too. And I think it can work. And what I mean by the old school mentality is you still got to learn how to tell the story. You still have to learn how to go out there and tell the story to fans and keep the fans interested in it. And once you lose those fans, the story, you're done. You're done. You can do a billion planchas and billion moonsaults, and it's not going to matter. The story's gone.
That's exactly right. Why you don't have to do 20 high risk moves when you can do 2.
and look great and get the same pop. I mean, like, it's great. It's amazing.
And you know that
But we,
that rolls back to earlier we were talking about when I was trying to do some research today
Mhm.
on, you know, some current events in wrestling, and I got sucked over to watching
oh yeah,
I was to the Survivor Series '88, watching the Mega Powers and the Mega Bucks, and that just grabbed me, man. And maybe it's, you know, reverting back to my youth, but I think that it was the storytelling, man. It was, and I told you earlier, this might make me sound gay, but
SummerSlam '88, right? Talking about SummerSlam '88.
SummerSlam '88. But when
Okay, gotcha.
Elizabeth jumped up on the apron and ripped her skirt off and showed her absolutely 5-star perfect ass. Oh, and DiBiase and Andre and Jesse Ventura, and they were all thrown off. That wasn't my favorite part of the match. My favorite part was when Savage came down with the elbow on DiBiase and Hogan.
Gay. Okay, I'm sorry.
And Hogan immediately hit the leg drop. And Ventura went down for 1, 2, hesitated on 3. Savage grabbed his hand and drove it down for the 3 count. Now, the rest of the time they were in the ring, yes, I got to look at Miss Elizabeth's perfect, wonderful, absolutely perfect ass. But the storyline of the match was Hogan and the Macho Man had to beat Andre and DiBiase. They had to. DiBiase was trying to, or not DiBiase, Ventura was trying to play the whole match as, I'm going to be impartial, but right at the end, he showed he's still a heel, and Savage drove it home. And right away, when that was over, the 1, 2, 3, bam, they started building the Mega Powers Explode. Man, everything about that match was perfect, and getting to see the lovely Miss Elizabeth's perfect sculptured ass was wonderful.
No, absolutely.
But watching Hogan and Andre, watching the ultimate good guys beat the axis of evil. Good beat evil. And the referee, the mediator, he was evil at the end, and the good guys still beat the bad guys. And then we got
it was
to
such
see
a great build-up.
Yeah,
it was such a great build-up, and you can go back. That was like a year, almost 2-year angle right there. I mean, you got Hogan and Andre.
No, it was a
WrestleMania
year.
3.
It was from where Randy beat DiBiase, right? And then Hogan.
Sure.
Well, so it was a year buildup, but it was a perfect buildup. It was this element of these two guys that you saw eventually becoming volatile, and they built it up to Mania.
Oh, absolutely.
Man.
Well, the Bengals go on forever. You can talk about Hulk and there are all kinds of Hulk and Andre.
And think about
WrestleMania 3, and exactly. That's a big build. So all these guys, there's a great story, and like it all combined together. Like
they built Hulk and Andre all the way to the Survivor Series preceding Mania 5. They just
WrestleMania 3, the big slam.
Right.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Go back to that, 87.
They built from 3 all the way to the Survivor Series right before Mania 5. That was an angle that just wouldn't quit. Oh, it was great.
No, it was great, and that was a great story. It all had meaning behind it. Great match. I might YouTube that after I get off here and just watch that match over again.
Everybody. Let's, you know what? Let's get WrestleShoot following a little bit larger, and let's go with what Pritchard and Conrad do, man. Let's do a viewing party. Let's watch that match together. We'll turn the sound off, and your boys, Wilds and Casanova, will be the ringside commentators. And, man, let's just roll and have fun.
Well, I think. Hold on. Let's see how much time we got left here. Hold on.
Oh, we're way past time.
Yeah. Yeah. We should.
Yeah.
See. All right. Well. Yeah. You think we should do that next show?
No, let's build it a little bit. Let's get a good following. Let's get a good group of guys behind us. Then we'll go for it. And you know what? Maybe we'll get some guys who have been there, like Duke, to do the ringside commentary with us.
Build it up a little bit. Yeah.
Let's just have some fun. But we are an hour and 15 minutes into our pretty much 45-minute allotted time. So I think we should go ahead, brother, and take this home. But I'll tell you what, guys, everybody listening to us, there's a lot of people in California who would say, what do you guys care about time? Because we have had matches that were going well, and we milked that shit until there was no more milk coming out. And that's what we're going to do here on WrestleShoot. We kind of got a 45-minute to an hour idea that we want to go on, but sometimes we get involved in telling douchebag cocksuckers like Rick Luxury what a douchebag he is. And by the way, California fans, you will agree with me. If you've watched Rick Luxury's, come on, dude, before we go home, let's talk about him and Schizo.
I think we should wait till next show. I do.
Okay.
I do.
I'm
yes, we have. We have to do it.
I'll tap out on that one. Okay.
Sorry, listeners. We're gonna have to wait till next week on that one or next podcast because it's a great story.
It's a great story. Yes. Yes.
Well, that's it, man. Remember, email your questions over to WrestleShoot1@gmail.com on these topics we talked about, or we want to hear your opinion.
We do want to hear your opinions, unlike a lot of these podcasts where they go, blah, blah, email us, and they kind of cherry pick. Like, let's run through it, man. Tell us what you guys are really about, what you guys are really thinking, how you feel about the business today, as it was even 5 years ago. In my opinion, we had a great run up until Rock in Austin. Undertaker definitely kept the WWE in business. Chris, I'm trying to burn up 3 more minutes.
You what?
I'm trying to burn up 3 more minutes just so we can make this podcast an even time frame to an hour and 20. But in my opinion, Austin, Rock, Foley, Taker, all that era, Kane, that great shit, man, that marked the end of the era of truly entertaining wrestling. And that is what I want to go out on because I want something interesting to pick back up on. What you got, Chris?
Wow, I was just kind of, wow. We blew me away with that.
But you agree with me. I mean, like fucking... Okay, Chris and I, as the Apocalypse, you got back in the day, man, there was a lot of tag teams, right? And those tag teams back then were really tag teams. And Chris and I worked that angle, man. We traveled together. We stayed oftentimes in the same hotel room, but if nothing else, in the same hotel. We ate together. We drove together. We went to after parties together, man. We were the absolute epitome of what a tag team should be. Yeah?
Absolutely. We were. I think that's why we have such an awesome connection. We do.
Sure.
We just do. Yeah. And
to go back to when we first really started hanging out was when I had that match that Schizo, which we are gonna come back to Schizo with Luxury, you bitch, Rick. We're coming back.
We will.
But that was the first day when I had this horrible match with that kid Cookie, and you went, it's not your fault, right? And I was like, oh God, I needed to hear that. But Chris, because I absolutely forgot to play the spot for Ward Realty, that's what we're going to go out on. Anybody who's listening in the West Texas area, Austin, San Marcos, San Antonio, stick around. Listen to the promo for Ward Realty. They will take care of you. We love you guys. We'll see you next time. Yeah?
Yep. See you next time, guys.
All right. Are you in the market for a new home in Austin, San Antonio, San Marcos, and the surrounding areas? Have you had bad experiences with realtors who work just hard enough to get that commission? Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't your realtor supposed to be looking out for your best interest and getting you the best deal possible? Well, friends, listen up. Chris Ward is that realtor, and I speak from personal experience. He's going to fight to get you into your dream home at your budget. He's always going to be 100% with you, and he'll get the answers to those confusing questions that go along with buying a home. It won't cost you a thing to give him a call and get the ball rolling for you. And sellers, he'll work just as hard for you, protecting you from predator buyers, lowballers, and scam artists. Give him a call at 512-618-5110 or check him out online at chriswardrealestate.net. Again, 512-618-5110, chriswardrealestate.net.